You mentioned that you're about 34 weeks along and recently you were involved in a nasty car accident, and I want to say first and foremost that I'm so sorry that that happened, and I hope that you're doing well. It sounds like you were released from the hospital and you're doing okay, and so I hope that that's still the case. Generally speaking, if complications are going to arise related to the accident, they usually surface between the first 24 and 48 hours, and so if that amount of time has passed and things are looking okay, then that's reassuring. A complication that can be associated with car accidents or falls or any type of abdominal trauma is a placental abruption. And the placenta is a super cool organ that a mother's body grows during each pregnancy, and it's literally the baby's lifeline. It's how they get oxygen and nutrients. And for this reason, it should not detach from the uterine wall until after the baby's born. And if it starts to prematurely detach from the uterine wall while the baby's still inside the mother, it's called a placental abruption. And this basically means that the mother is losing blood and the baby is not getting blood. And they can be mild, moderate, or severe. And in mild cases, it may just be able to be managed with bed rest and monitoring. And in severe cases, it may warrant delivery. And signs of an abruption include a very tender abdomen, vaginal bleeding, and contractions. And so if you were having any of these after the accident, then of course your doctor would have been monitoring you for those and watching extra close for complications related to the abruption and to the accident. The best thing you can do now is watch for complications like contractions, vaginal bleeding, leaking of fluid, or decreased fetal movement. And so if you experience 4 to 5 contractions an hour, which is only every 10 to 15 minutes, and contractions are felt as lower abdominal cramping, lower backache, abdominal tightening, and pressure, sometimes an increase in discharge is noted with the pain. If you experience those symptoms, then go get checked. If you have any vaginal bleeding, that in and of itself is another good reason to go get checked at the hospital, as is having any leaking of fluid. You shouldn't sit at home and wait until contractions start if you feel like your water may have broken, because again, that in and of itself is a reason to be seen, and it's an admit ticket to the hospital if your water has indeed broken. And then another important thing to consider is fetal movement. The best indication that you have when you're at home that your baby's doing well is that they're moving regularly. And so watch closely, especially after being in a car accident. And if you feel like the baby's moving less than usual, get rid of all distractions, lay down on your side, and count movement. And if you get 10 or less in 2 hours, or just not much the first hour, go get checked for that as well. And best case scenario is that if you go in for any of these reasons, you're just sent home with some peace of mind, especially being preterm. But that's priceless. It's priceless to go in and be reassured that everything's looking good, and that's never a wasted trip to the hospital. So don't hesitate to ask your doctor if you have more specific questions. And if you have more questions in the future for me, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms, and recommend us to your friends and family too.